Hello, and welcome back to Bullet Wanderer. I'm Brendan, this is Bullet Wanderer, and today I had hoped to get out for a ride because it's been lovely weather this week, but unfortunately, if you can tell by my voice, I'm feeling a bit under the weather. Such is January after all the parties of Christmas and New Year's, right? Everyone's coughing and sneezing in the office, so I thought I would do a review for you today. Now, it's not a sponsored review, and it's one that people have asked for a lot recently, which is of the ByCity Roadster II helmet in black and gold. Let's just talk about it today. This will be a off-the-cuffs, unscripted review because, well, that's just the way that we're going to roll around here. So, you'll have seen me wear this helmet for the last year or so. I got it last Christmas as a gift from my siblings, which was very nice, and it has stood the test of at least 1 year's ride on the Bullet 500. If you're buying a helmet like this, you're probably going for that classic look, so stick around. I'll tell you all about it and how it stacks up. Let's start with the design and aesthetics, which, yeah, this is perfect for any kind of classic bike or any kind of cafe racer or vintage looks. I'm just saying classic in different ways. It's a beautiful design, similar to the Bell Bullet, but at a much more affordable price. Bell Bullet will set you back around €500 here in Ireland, whereas I think this costed about 160. And we'll get on to more about that later. But what you have here, there's different colour variations. My siblings went for this one and it matches the Bullet 500's tank really well with these gold pinstriping. Even when I'm leaving it on the bike and walking away, it just, it matches it well. If it was dark green like the Bullet, it would be spot on, but to most people, the Bullet looks black with gold stripes. Daisy, that is. What is the construction? Well, it's made out of fiberglass for the most part, but the interior is leather and suede, and it's actually incredibly comfortable. I was very surprised when I put it on how comfy it was. Leather and suede interior, and that fiberglass shell total material comes out to about 1,300 grams, I think, on the head, so 1.3 kilograms. For you that speak Imperial, I don't know what that is, but it's very light, suffice to say. And also, the visor itself is made out of injection molded plastic, but it's well able to withstand hard knocks on the road. Plenty of B have met their end, unfortunately, on this visor. It closes with magnetic clasps, which used to work, but I put on my GoPro camera mount, which is just in the way of letting this fully close. But to be honest, for summer riding, it's perfectly fine. For winter riding, I've gotten away with it, but I am sick now, so maybe I would have been better off wearing something more substantial for a winter ride. But speaking of summer rides, you're out there, you're touring France, you're touring Europe, you're touring the States, and you want to see everything, but you don't want an open-faced helmet. Well, this is like the next best thing. You've got your chin bar still, but visibility is through the roof. I remember putting this on for the first time and going for a ride, and it did feel like I was wearing no helmet at all. The visibility is insane in this, with this wide opening. You barely even realise you're wearing a helmet. There's no tunnel vision like that or anything because this comes back so far back. But you might be wondering, there's no pin lock on this visor, so is visibility going to be poor for that regard? To be honest, I haven't really noticed it fogging up or anything. In the winter, a little bit, but once you're moving, that instantly goes away. But in the summer, visor up, visor down, I've never really noticed it fogging up, which is great. During the summer, I usually ride with the visor up when I'm going through towns. Out in the countryside, getting up to 50 miles, I'll put the visor down. Plenty of airflow through these vents and into the helmet. Keeps you very cool, I must say. Physically and aesthetically. Is there any whistling though? You tell me. In the videos, have you noticed much whistling because you're at this microphone, that's what you're hearing in the helmet. Usually I have it tucked up there. I haven't noticed too much whistling myself. Usually I'll be listening to music as well, but I've had no issues with that. You do have this lining which comes in front of your ears, so that might be to thank. And if you wear glasses like me, you might be wondering how is it in that regard, but it's perfectly fine. There's no pinching or anything like that. But if you're putting in a Bluetooth headset, like the moment in the other video, There's not quite enough room to really get it in there. You can just about fit it, but you're going to be feeling it pressing in on your ears. So I wouldn't go for this helmet if you're planning to do a lot of Bluetooth communications with in-ear speakerphones. And also, speaking of glasses, there's no drop-down sun visor, so you're going to have to bring your coolest pair of shades with you, whether they're prescription shades like I got or otherwise. But it's fine, it adds to the look, doesn't it? But also, speaking of glasses, for the longest time I was wondering what this was about, and this is going to be obvious to half the audience, but that's actually for putting your goggles through. You can take off the visor, it's easy to dismount it, you just unscrew this and click it off, and then it works with goggles. There's a big enough opening there that you can get a chunky pair of goggles in there. If that's your aesthetic, I would say go for it. For me, I wouldn't because I wear glasses, but you know, if you wear contacts or whatever while you're riding, it might be a good idea to slap in a pair of goggles, and it would go with your old school motorcyclist look. Moving on, safety features. How does the strap work? Well, it's your simple double D-ring strap. Now, that's the one thing that I think looks a bit cheap on this helmet, is that it's just a plastic button strap, but I have had no issues. I always have issues with trying to do the D-ring strap when it's not on my head. Much like tying a tie on someone else, it's kind of hard to remember how it goes unless you're doing it from muscle memory here. I think that's it. Nope, that's the wrong way around, but you get the idea. It's never come undone unless you want it to. But even if it did come undone, your double D-ring strap has been in vogue for well over 1,000 years. They did it right the first time. Double D all the way. Don't read into that statement. Moving on. Other safety features. Well, the inner liner does come out. This is... ignore that, that's just my wire from my microphone. But the inner liner does come out easy enough for both washing and or if you're in an accident. I haven't had an accident on this yet. If you're in an accident, you're going to replace the helmet. But I can say that it's easy to take out the lining if you so need. A lot of it's held in with Velcro, so it's easy to access any of the interiors or to run your microphone line through if you're doing a GoPro motovlog setup like myself. Maintenance and durability. Well, it's endured at least 1 year on the Bullet 500. Maintenance, just give it a wipe now and then, keep it fresh. Still smells fine in there to me, and I have sweated a lot in this helmet as I'm an Irishman that goes abroad on a motorbike, so there's going to be a lot of head sweat going on. Sorry about that, but practically there is. But the ventilation there is great, that anything, it's not going to get stuffy and mildewy, you know what I mean? I've worn this in the rain too, and to be honest, I haven't even gotten that wet. It's more the back of my neck that gets wet, but that's the life with most helmets anyways, so I wouldn't fault it for that. I'm just noticing now as well, you might be noticing these reflective stripes, which didn't come with the helmet. There's another one there somewhere. I put those on because you have to legally to ride in France. Well, I don't know if everyone does there, but technically legally you do, so I don't want to get caught off guard that way. But these, if you shine a light on them, brighten up like the sun. What else? This is jumping all over the place. As I say, it's off the cuff. Safety. This is ECE R2205 rated, which is the previous rating, which is outdated. But I did check the website. The latest version of this helmet is ECE 2206 rated. So go for that one if you can. You want the best safety rating. Now I think they are more or less the same helmet. It's just that this standard was lower than the current standard. I think it's 20 years old. I think one of the tests there is fling a ballistic steel ball at the visor at 180 miles an hour, and if it withstands it, it passes it, among many other things, and this helmet passed it. So you know, you might be worried a cheaper helmet, a cheaper version than Bell or whoever, it's not going to pass the safety standard, but no, it does. But in terms of other helmets of the same aesthetic, the sort of 1960s Evel Knievel kind of style, with, you know, this style, not the modernist style, I'm losing my words here. But compared to the likes of the Shoei Glamster, which is very similar, or the Bell Bullet, which is kind of the trendsetter of this new era of modern helmets, where does ByCity stand up? Well, they're ECE 2206 rated, as I just said, and they're the cheapest of the lot from what I can see. So if you're looking for a helmet like this and you're budget conscious, I don't think you can go wrong. Obviously, safety comes first, aesthetics are second. Thankfully, this one, well, the next generation of it is 2206 rated, but I can't imagine this is too far behind. ByCity, who are they? They're a Spanish brand that have been around since 2014, so they're relatively new. They're not up there with Shoei and Bell and all the rest of the showy-off helmet brands. But they have been around the block, and reading their website, it seems they've been around for 35 years. I don't know the full history, but you can look that up yourself. Suffice to say, this is a solid helmet, and I've been very happy with it. Aesthetically and practically, it's worked out really well for me. Any questions, leave them in the comments below, because I'm sure I'm forgetting some important details that people would like to know. The airflow is perfect. If you're summer touring and you're on a classic bike, you cannot go wrong with this. It's got a beautiful just airflow that comes in like this. If you're motovlogging like me, get one of these dead cats, because there will be a lot of wind noise. Not to my ears, but well, in front of the chin bar here. Get a nice pair of sunglasses, or maybe a tinted visor, or I don't know if those are legal. On the website I see as well they have the bubble visors, which are quite funny. I don't have one of them. I'd be curious to try one just to see how it looks, but it is very like Soviet spaceman, sort of a bit kitschy, if that's the word. To finish off, I think I should go over pros and cons, because that's a good way of looking at it. Pros, it looks great, it feels great, it doesn't weigh that much, you have great visibility out of it. Cons, well, I'm not a fan of that plastic button there. I wish that was a metal, just a metal push stud, is that what you call it? Just for that extra bit of safety, but you know, the double D-ring hasn't gone wrong in 1,000 years. It'd be nice if there was some helmet vents here, but that might take away from the aesthetic. Maybe just like a single one there or something, but having said that, the airflow has been fine to me. I've never really felt stuffy or hot or bothered in this helmet. You can't close these. If that's a problem to you, you might want to consider something else. The chin bar, perhaps a little thin. I don't know. I haven't crashed in this and had to test it yet, so I couldn't tell you in that regard. But for mounting GoPros, you can't use the... what do you call it? For mounting GoPros, you can't use something like this if you like to work less destructively like I do. You can, but it's a bit flimsy. So I stuck on one of these. It hasn't failed since, and I don't think it takes that heavily away from the aesthetic of the helmet when I don't have a GoPro mounted on there. It's a light helmet. You might feel a bit more safe in a heavier helmet. This particular one is 2205, as I've said 10 times now. I would consider that a slight con, but that's only because 2206 didn't come out until 6 months after I got the helmet, so I don't know, don't take my word on this, but I'd imagine this isn't too far behind the latest safety standard. You wouldn't fit a Bluetooth headset communicator in here, unless you have a very thin head or don't mind getting a bit of pain on the back of your ears there. I think it's all around a solid helmet, and I don't want to come across as someone that just sings the praises of everything, but lots of things are praiseworthy. Very comfy. I feel very secure when I wear the helmet. It's great. So, go get one if you want one. I hope this review has been helpful to you. If you have any other questions about it, leave them for me in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, and hopefully the weather will stay good and I'll feel a bit better next weekend. We might go out and do some wandering. I hope you don't mind all these reviews. The weather's been a bit wet lately, so there hasn't been really the opportunity to go out and do bullet wandering. It's not like the summer where, you know, get out of work and the sun's still up for another 5 hours. It's dark already. So it's a bit more difficult to get out and do a bit of bullet wandering. But I hope you won't mind 1 or 2 reviews for January. And then in February, hopefully the good weather will be back and the good Lord will bless us with some sun and some beautiful sights and some great times on Daisy Bell. And I'm getting long-winded here, so we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below on what you think or anything you want to ask me, and I'll do my best to get back to you. And thanks for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye!